Welcome to a special edition of our CSP Florida. Today I'm going to tell you the story of the Atala butterfly and how its existence in Florida today is amazing. In 1937, the Atala butterfly was said to be extinct in Florida. However, it could still be found in the Bahamas, Cuba, and the Cayman Islands. So why was it now extinct in Florida when it used to thrive there? Well, it's all man-made, as are many extinct species in the world. In the case of the Atala butterfly, man destroyed the host plant of the butterfly. The Kunti plant, Zamia integrifolia, is the host plant for the Atala butterfly. Natives and early settlers in Florida discovered you can make a starch from the roots of the Kunti plant, also known as arrowroot. The Kunti plant grew in dry, sandy soil areas of Florida's pine forest and other sandy areas in abundance before man came along. They harvested the plant to use its root to make a starch which eventually turned into flour. It should be noted that the Kunti plant is poisonous unless properly prepared and could kill you if you ate it raw. The plant was over-harvested and became just about as extinct as the Atala butterfly. When the Atala lost its host plant, it had no place to lay its eggs, and therefore it could not reproduce, and extinction was imminent. In 1965, it was listed as extinct in Florida by the Peterson Butterfly Book. After 1937, the butterfly was not seen in Florida again until 1975. A man named Roger L. Hammer was searching in the Florida Keys for a rare seed to plant in his garden and discovered a red caterpillar that looked like an Atala caterpillar. He went home and got a Kunti plant and took it back to where he saw the caterpillar. Days later, he discovered the Kunti plant had butterfly chrysalis on it. He took them home and waited for the butterfly to emerge from its cocoon. And sure enough, it was an Atala butterfly. So Roger Hammer is credited with finding the first Atala butterfly in Florida since 1937. What a joy that must have been for Roger. Roger Hammer is a retired senior naturalist that worked for the Miami-Dade Parks Department from 1977 to 2010. He also is a noted author and speaker. Roger has written many books and nature pamphlets on flowers, birds, and other wildlife in Florida. I'll leave a link in the description to Roger's website. Once Roger discovered the Atala, he helped repopulate the butterfly by giving gardeners and others plants with chrysalis on them, so they could hatch their own butterflies. Another man named Adam Skalronsky, who lives south of Miami, Florida, did the same thing. People would bring him their Kunti plants in a container, and he would put them in his garden for the Atalas to lay eggs on. When the caterpillars turned into a chrysalis, he would give them back to the owner to put in their garden. This is how and why the Atala butterfly has made a miraculous comeback in South Florida. Man caused the Atala to become extinct, and oddly enough, man has helped it return. Because of Roger and Adam and many others who have done the same thing, the Atala butterfly is back. Thank you all. Other public gardens have now done the same thing and started having Atalas in their gardens. We photographed the Atalas at Bok Tower Gardens in Lake Wales, Florida. Bok Tower has a large variety of plants, and they have lots of Kunti plants as well as lots of nectar plants for the butterflies to feed on. You can now find Atalas all over the gardens. Once they got started in the gardens, they have done very well and have increased their numbers dramatically. The peak breeding season for the Atala is June and January, although they breed all year long. Their lifespan is around 2 to 3 months in ideal conditions with plenty of nectar to eat. They lay very small eggs on the Kunti plants. Once the eggs hatch, the caterpillars become a bright reddish-orange with 14 yellow spots in 2 rows down their back. It's really a beautiful caterpillar. After the caterpillar becomes an adult, it will attach itself to a Kunti leaf and transform into a chrysalis. It uses a silky web to attach itself to the leaf, as you can see here. Part of the caterpillar is left behind in the process of becoming a chrysalis. Unlike many butterflies who are not communal, the female Atala will get together in groups to lay eggs right beside each other. The same is true for caterpillars. You will find them in groups, sometimes right on top of each other. Once the Atala emerges from the chrysalis, it will hang onto a leaf with its wings hanging down to let gravity help expand them until they fully form. Then it will fly away and start the cycle all over again. Where it is unusual to find lots of other butterfly species in large groups, just like the caterpillars and chrysalis, the adult Atalas hang around in groups as well, as you can see here. Bok Tower Gardens is way further north than what they believe to be the natural range of the Atala before it went extinct. Climate change has made it possible for the Atala to live as far north as Gainesville, Florida, and they also are spreading west to the Gulf Coast of Florida as well. If things keep going as well for the Atala as they have been, it will someday be found in all of South Florida and maybe Central Florida, especially if more people become interested in having the Atala butterfly in their own gardens. Let's talk a little bit about the coontie plant itself. The coontie is the only native cycad found in North America. It is an ancient plant that dates back to the Mesozoic era, which marks the time of the dinosaur. So, it has survived since prehistoric times. There are male and female coontie plants. The female has a brownish-colored cone, and the male has a blackish-colored cone. The male produces the pollen, and the female produces the seed that the pollen fertilizes. The cones grow at the base of the plant at ground level. They are quite large for the size of the plant, which normally grows to about 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide. In recent years, there has been a surge in Florida to plant native plants. Landscapers have started to plant coontie plants as an ornamental plant because they are native and are very robust. They will grow in sun or even dark shade and are almost indestructible. Many homeowners have planted them in their yards. They are an evergreen and can be quite beautiful in a garden or yard. All butterfly lovers are quite excited about the resurgence of the Atala butterfly, but not everyone is happy. In large numbers, the Atala can pretty much destroy a coontie plant, so many homeowners are not happy to see them in their yards. It's like having milkweed in your yard for the monarch butterfly. The monarch caterpillars will strip every leaf off the bush until there is nothing left but the stems. However, in a few weeks, the plant will recover and is none the worse for wear. On the other hand, the coontie plant is a slow grower, and it takes a lot longer to recover. If it's a small plant, it may never recover, and they are not cheap to buy, especially larger plants. I guess this is another case of you can't satisfy everyone. They are beautiful butterflies, and I am personally extremely happy to have them back. But then, I'm a nature lover. If you are interested in trying to attract the Atala butterfly to your garden, there are many native nurseries that sell the coontie plant. It is sometimes called a palm, but it is a cycad, even though it looks like it would belong in the palm family. Don't forget, you might attract a few butterflies if you plant the coontie plant, but they are notorious for leaving if there isn't enough nectar for them to feed on and not have to go anywhere else. Many have gone to the trouble of getting the Atala chrysalis and having it hatch in their garden, only to be disappointed when they just disappear because they have nothing to eat close by. So don't forget the nectar plants. Some of the plants they feed on are lantana, periwinkle, shepherd's needle, pentas, and wild coffee. There are lots of wild coffee plants in Bok Tower Gardens, as well as most of the others I mentioned. One note about the coontie plant: it is poisonous to humans and pets. So, if you have a female coontie, you will want to dispose of the seeds that are produced by the cone as soon as they come out to make the plant safe for children and pets that might try to pick them up, play with them, or possibly even try to eat them. This should not discourage you from planting them in your yard. It is just a precaution you need to be aware of. There are many poisonous plants in yards all over the country, so having a coontie plant in your yard is not unusual. All in all, the Atala butterfly recovery is a miraculous story and evidence that it can be done if man cares enough and puts forth enough effort to accomplish it. Let's all hope there are more miraculous stories in the future. I hope you have enjoyed the history of the Atala butterfly and the coontie plant. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That helps a lot with YouTube. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Welcome to the bonus video for the amazing Atala butterfly. I shot a lot of video and stills that were not used to tell the story of the Atala butterfly. I thought you butterfly lovers like me might like to see it. So, in the old days of film, this is what hit the editing room floor. I hope you enjoy it. This first video is the longest and shows how much the Atala must struggle to get out of the cocoon they are in. I recorded this butterfly for 35 minutes trying to shed itself from its cocoon. It would struggle so much that it had to rest before continuing again. It appears that the chrysalis is wrapped around its head and it just can't seem to free itself. I have speeded this video up to 3 times normal speed, but it is still quite long. I have edited it down to keep everyone from getting bored watching this poor butterfly struggle to survive. I'd like to tell you it did, but I really don't know. I had to leave before it finished its struggle. These next few videos are of Atalas feeding on nearby flowers and sitting on kunti plants. Most of them probably hatched earlier in the day. There were chrysalis everywhere in the kunti plants. January is one of the 2 heavy breeding months for the Atala. I hope you enjoyed the bonus video on the Atala butterfly. I hated to just file these videos away, never to be seen. I hope you enjoyed them. Thanks for sticking around and have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.